never going...
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs, the Georgia Society of CPAs, and the Ad Council.
Thanks for asking, but I'd rather not send you nude pictures. I'm camera shy. I already said no. Under my clothes, I'm a robot. My webcam is broken. I'm worried they'll get passed around school. I have a rash. I have nudophobia. I have lizard skin. I'm a vampire, so I don't show up in pictures anyways. Your badgering has really killed the mood.
When someone is pressuring you to do something you don't want to, how many ways can you say no before they get the message? Let us know at that'snotcool.com. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Well, I finally improved my credit score. What? The band is about to be discovered. Rock gods don't need to worry about credit scores. We're supposed to think about how many guitars we've smashed, make ridiculous on-tour requests, tragically break up and blame creative differences. I'm not banking my retirement on a band that's never left your garage.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs, the Georgia Society of CPAs, and the Ad Council.
Hey, what's up? This your boy Maceo Hurd. This your boy E. Glaze. You listen to the dopest sports show on radio. It's The Crush on Sensation Station Network. Damn, Gina! Yeah. Welcome to the question interview brought to you by Oracy Software. The Oracy team is committed to providing full lifecycle support for developing, testing, delivering market-driven products. Oracy's motto is when the customer engages one of us, they engage all of us. Go to Oracy.com for more information. All right, Maceo, do the formal introduction, my brother.
Hey, man, coming to the microphone, man. She's a graduate of Georgetown University and Northwestern University. Spent time in Miami, Philly, Cleveland, St. Louis before she made her trek here to ATL, man. Emmy-nominated anchor, man. You know, she does it all. They say she's best known for her ad-libbing. Say she does that well.
Maybe I need a show.
Coming to the microphone, everybody. Sharon Reed. What's going on, Sharon?
I'm happy to be here. We've been having this like little Twitter dance that we where you guys give shout-outs and
We've been trying. Hints here and hints there. And
yeah.
In the building.
Nice. Yeah, it's nice.
In the building. Okay, so let me ask you this. Your career, you're well-traveled.
Yeah,
How do you handle and pick your destinations?
Well, sometimes the destination picks you. You know how this business is. But Atlanta is a city that I wanted to come to for a very long time. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a place I felt like I like the town. I like the demographics. I felt like I could be successful here, bring something to the table here. So it's definitely a place I wanted to be. I've done my time in other destinations that, you know, maybe weren't quite as palatable, you know. But I love this city already. I've been here a year, and this could be it. Who knows?
Like that. I like that. We can start with the time in Miami. What was it about Miami? What drew you to Miami?
A job offer? You know, at the time I was just cutting my teeth as a reporter. I had never really had a full-time reporting job. And I went down there and, you know, it was an exciting town, but I've never been much of a partier, although my best friend was down there working at a rival station. And so we started going out like, you know, Miami, like, next thing you know, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. We gotta get up and go to work. So, you know, Miami was a great town. It was the best reporting town for me to cut my teeth. Just a lot of stuff was going on down there, and it's so competitive. So competitive, and I wanted everything exclusive. So that's where I really honed my craft, and you know, I loved it.
Let me ask this: in being in the different locations, what's the one thing that you tried to portray on each station? What are they when they see Sharon Reed? What are they getting when they see it?
Authenticity. We struggle our whole lives, I think, to be able to be ourselves at every moment. And some people are one way off TV and another one they're on when the tally light goes on. And to me, it works best when you can marry the two. Audiences are more and more sophisticated. They're not stupid. And I think you resonate with an audience when they turn on that TV and they see you. They know who you are. And I think a lot of times that's just, breaking through that glass wall, looking through the lens and acknowledging sometimes, hey, I don't know it all. I'm learning with you. I'm observing with you. And the other thing is, the way I get out there in any market that I enter in is I'm a reporter first. I don't have to go out and report stories. I do it because it makes me a better anchor, and it keeps me in touch. We all know those anchors out there who can barely hold a conversation, that's not scripted.
Right.
Or people who don't look like them or come from where they come from. I've always taken pride in that I could talk to anybody, and I've always been that way. I've shown up on scenes in dicey sections of town, Liberty City, Miami, and maybe Blondie doesn't want to get out of the truck, but I can make a friend anywhere,
Shout out to Porky Million Project.
And that's from not thinking you're better than anybody else. If you can look somebody in the eye, no matter where they came from, no matter what your differences are, you have more in common. And I think people can see that. Like I say on I don't know how much you watch of the show, but we shot some promos, and it was just speaking from the heart. But I meant it when I said it's not the movies.
Yeah.
People can look at the screen and say, you're a fraud. You're a fraud all day. Or they can say, yep, I know who she is, And so that's what I love about local news. You always get another opportunity, to be on and just keep it real with an audience.
So did the Atlanta job give you more freedom to...
That's a tough one. My most recent stop, same company, my boss got promoted here and brought me with him. I was in St. Louis, and it was a difficult time. Ferguson popped off while I was there, and while it made me feel some kind of way as an African-American woman, it made me angry, it made me curious, it made me shocked to see the depths of some of the stuff that was going on there. Come on, Teddy, is that you? Who is that? Maceo? Who?
No, it's not Maceo.
It's you. Where was I?
Fine.
Okay.
Call him to the principal's office.
But Ferguson, you asked about freedom. There were so many nights where there is no prompter, there is no script.
We'll be down and get you in a minute.
His woman's here. She'll be all right.
I was going to say you had to pay me, but you don't.
You going to send Teddy down there again?
CBS News just happened to show up, so
Take some shots. But Ferguson, I love it when there is no script and we are learning this thing together. So that was a very freeing experience. And being part of the media, as I mentioned before, people tend to see you as a pack. And, I had some disagreements with some people. You're going to lump me in with these other people. Because I got out of the chair and went down to Ferguson. I investigated. I wanted to know what was going on, and I can talk to people. So you're not going to lump me in with the other ones. Here in Atlanta, I'm still finding my way. It's only been a year. It usually takes an anchor a year before you can, throw some bows and kind of let people know who you are and get out there. So I feel like the time is now. We're going to
talk about that when we come back, because I want to see when you come into Atlanta and you're lead anchor, so you're trying to, how do you throw your bows, begin throwing your bows? So.
Not everybody likes it.
Here we go.
But that's okay.
Coming to Tampa Bay, I said we want to win the Super Bowl, and I believe we will.
From IamSecond.com.
We came close, but never really did win that championship.
Former NFL head coach Tony Dungy.
At the end of my 6th year, I was fired, and it was one of the biggest disappointments of my life. Next year, I'm in Indianapolis, get to the playoffs, but get knocked out again. And for the next couple of years, it's the same thing. Everyone is saying Colts are never going to win one. And I did wonder, why didn't it pan out the way I thought it would? But I determined that I had to have Christ first, and that everything else came below that, including my own desires. The next year, that ended up being our year to go to the Super Bowl and win it, and it was a wonderful feeling. Every decision I make, I'm going to make it through the lens of Jesus Christ, and He guides us to that ultimate victory. I'm Tony Dungy, and I am second.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Hi, I'm Harold Dennis, and I'm running for the office of DeKalb County Sheriff. I believe that there is a brighter future for DeKalb County, and as your sheriff, I will take a tough stance against those who choose to violate our laws and remain actively involved in building a rapport with our youth, which will combat the increasingly violent crimes committed by their peers. This will increase the value of our community in which I was proudly born and raised. Allow me the opportunity to continue my philosophy of public service and building a sound and responsive sheriff's office. Harold Dennis, vote for me November 8th for DeKalb County Sheriff. And let's take DeKalb back. I'm Harold Dennis, and I approve this message.
This is Keon Carpenter, former Atlanta Falcon. You are tuned into The Crush on Sensation Station Network.
We're back. Still doing our Crush interview brought to you by ORC Software with Sharon Reed of CBS 46. Gotta make sure my logo right, because we got camera here now. Gotta make sure the logo right. So before we left, we was talking about being here a year now. June 2015 was the year? Yeah. 2016 was the year.
Yeah.
How comfortable are you, and are you comfortable with, like you said before, throwing some balls?
Well, I am comfortable in Atlanta. Like I said, it's a city I visited before. It's a city that I wanted to be in. For me, I believe in challenge and authority. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't necessarily mean confrontation, but confrontation is not a dirty word, okay? And I do think that you sit back and you watch and you see some things and you say, maybe there's some complacency over there or over here. And that's the kind of thing that gets my juices flowing. That's what I like to dig into and go hard at. So, you know, and not everybody likes it, but that's okay, because we're not here necessarily to have everybody agree or co-sign. I mean, it's not a beauty pageant, you know. We're supposed to be working for people, for viewers, you know, not just for our own personal gain. And I think that you do that by asking some really tough questions sometimes, even if people get offended.
A lot of people don't really understand the work that you guys put in, because, like I said, people think you guys just show up 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, do the news, and then we gone. Talk about how.
Sometimes.
What time does your day start, and how do you get yourself mentally ready for the shows every day?
You know, before I had my daughter, it was 24/7. You know, my day would not start right if I wasn't watching one of the morning shows, at least the first 20 minutes, you know, where the news content is, and then I would be emailing, really harassing the producers. You know, I like this. What about this? Shouldn't we do this? Like all day, you know. So there needs to be some life balance there. Since I have my daughter, you know, I do get tired. You know, I got to get her up and go to school. I go to bed so late, but it is in my blood. That's what's on in my house all day. I'm checking the Twitter feed. I'm, you know, checking, you know, Google News, just seeing what's popping off. And, you know, I suspect I won't really feel comfortable here until, you can tell I've really found my way in a market when I start to get my own exclusives. You know, that to me is important, and that's the ultimate goal. But the day generally, you know, this is a busy week, so I'll have a few appearances, a couple of promos that I got to shoot, special shoots. I went out on a story today. Tomorrow, same thing, I believe. Thursday, another one. But generally, I try to be in the building, at least trying to get a little makeup on by 2:33. You know, and then it's not, you know, you got to hit it. You know, we've got promos to do, and before you know it, the news is on. God forbid if something happens and you're on early that day. But, you know, I wouldn't have it any other way.
So in the story, when your composure, I look, you kind of have this stone face when you're on there. You focus. Is there a story that sometimes that you might lose a little bit? I know y'all try to joke around a little bit, but do you, no matter if it's funny, sad, or tragic, what's the ideal composure type thing that you try to do to stay focused?
Again, I say authenticity. If it's funny, it's just funny. I'm not out to offend anybody, but if it's funny, then the viewer's probably laughing too. And the other myth, I think, in our business is that you have to be completely objective. That's not true. I'm not a computer, and neither are you. We're human beings, and if a child is brutally, hurt or murdered, I don't know somebody who wouldn't be affected by that. And sometimes it's with the inflection in your voice. But, if you're that anchor who happy birthday sounds like a child murdered, then that's not authentic. That's not real. And I'm a mom now, too. So, certain things, they do get to me, and you can probably tell, by the way I deliver that one. And I'm okay with that.
With the trick of the news, is it sometimes hard? You guys, you get your script and it's like, man, this happened today again. How do you handle that part of it?
With that emotion, again, here we go again, and I think a viewer sitting at home would be disgusted by that too, depending on the subject matter. So, the truth is, especially early, we're not reading 2.5 hours of news before we go on set. Much of it's not even written. So, you read per block or per in between the commercials. And, Ben and I talk a lot, whether we're on the air or in between shows, and like to battle and really keep it real with one another, And I think you can tell that on the air. And to me, that also kind of gives me the perspective when I deliver a certain story.
So you, Ben, and Tracy, pretty much from 46, and then you and Ben 11. What are you guys? Because CBS 46 at one time wasn't the strongest.
Yeah, it's okay.
But you guys now are working together. What is the goal with that group? Because you seem like you have a great chemistry. I like Ben. Ben just did a great piece on the whole Kaepernick thing.
That I really liked about that. He got a lot of response.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is the beauty of him in that he surprises you. I think we love to label people. We love to look at the packaging, and you see that, the blonde hair, and you think you know him, and you don't. You see. And that's why you need to listen and learn. Now, there's going to be some stuff that you're going to say, really, Ben? And it might make you angry. But I like that part of him, and that's where we really hit it off. He's going to tell me what he thinks, and I'm going to shoot right back and tell him what I think, and we're both going to be okay with that because there is a mutual respect there. And I think as long as you have that respect, I may not agree with you, but if I respect you and you can at least present your position, you can at least back it up. I still may not agree with you, but at least I'll hear you. I'll hear you.
Need Ben to work on them ties sometimes too. Ben. Man.
You gotta have him in here.
You gotta get Ben.
There was a scandal with his ties recently, but I'll let him tell it.
Oh, see, I knew something.
Yeah.
Hey, when we come back, man, it's time to put Sharon in the hot seat.
In the hot seat, no doubt.
So stay with us.
Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of our United States. Most people know him as a man of great wisdom and vision. What many don't realize, however, is that when it came to finding late-model sedans at government auctions, or even looking up a zip code, Mr. Lincoln's wisdom was sadly lacking. In fact, the citizens of that day knew it best not to even ask. Fortunately, now there's firstgov.gov, the official place to turn when you need information about federal, state, and local government. Whether it's how to get a student loan, renew your passport, or even apply for a small business loan. All three of which, as numerous historians have noted, were remarkably absent from Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. So go to firstgov.gov. Who knows? If Abe had it in his day, he could have checked out an auction and traded that drafty log cabin for a nice condo on Maui. Firstgov.gov, a monumental source of useful information.
Well, I finally did it. I opened a 401k.
What? Why? Just wait for the inheritance. We've definitely got a rich uncle somewhere. We're one call away from the winner's circle at the Derby, dinners with multiple forks, a vacation home in the country, using summer as a verb.
You don't actually think that, do you?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs, the Georgia Society of CPAs, and the Ad Council.
This is Tracy Hutchins with CBS 46 News. You're listening to The Crush on Sensation Station Network.
Time for the Hot Seat Hotline.
4, 3, 2, 1. And we're back, man. About to jump into the hot seat. Well, Sharon, before we do it, Sharon, can you please give a shout out to our people in Periscope?
How you guys doing? Honored to be here. I'm finally here.
She's on the crush. She's got us. Hey, so let's go ahead. First question. Do you have a favorite sport?
My favorite football until it gets too cold.
Wow.
And then let's go ahead and move to the NBA. Tennis. I like Venus and Serena. I'll hate it when they finally leave. I really want my daughter to play tennis, so I like that. I'd like to learn myself. Now the Tiger's not really, you know. You know what I mean?
Yes,
but yeah, that'll do it.
Music people will be surprised that you listen to.
I mean, I love Kanye, but I love Beyonce. I don't know if that would be a surprise.
No, I don't think that'd be a surprise right now.
Yeah.
What about ratchetness? What's that ratchet song you go to? You hear you get your day started. I'm going to stop the car to, you know.
I don't even know if I could say it, but speaking of ratchet, and I try to blame it on the babysitter. Love and hip hop, really. Every time I come, but the thing is, then I start. Now I'm into that Black China and rock. It's ridiculous. It's just, and the whole time I say, "Oh, this is nonsense," but I keep watching.
You keep watching, yeah, all the time.
I record it and just, you know.
Wow. Favorite restaurant in Atlanta?
Oh. That's a tough one because you have to understand, I spend most of my time with my daughter, so I can't take her everywhere. So, like, we went to Shake Shack yesterday, which I really shouldn't have gone to, but, you know, I'm stuck with a toddler. You know, so I'm sure there'll be plenty of time to experience.
No doubt.
5-star.
When you have just a little time for yourself, what's that one go-to thing that you like to do?
Sleep.
Just get it in.
Sleep, TV, sleep some more.
Just get a little sleep in.
Yeah.
Lazy Saturday, what's the TV show you watching?
You know, and I had to wean myself off of this because no disrespect to the gentleman in the room, but Snapped. And y'all always die inside. And it's like, ladies know this, if you don't turn it off, you walk outside after Snapped and you're like looking at men like, You know what I mean? You can't, and so I had to like kind of just stop with the Snap all the time.
Start make you feel some kind of way.
Yeah, it's just like, get it.
Because you know, if you watch that stuff long enough, you'll start thinking like, I can get away with it. Because like, I watch Forensic Files, I'm like,
sometimes they do. Sometimes they do.
You're looking for them. This case is still open. I'm like, I wouldn't make that mistake. Nah. Favorite TV show of all time?
Of all time? That's another tough one. I live in like a reality TV world. So like all the Housewives, which is, again, ridiculous. Sitcoms and stuff. You know, it's just not really me. And since my daughter was born, I hardly get to complete a show, you know. So I sample a little bit of everything.
Favorite Netflix series?
I don't even want to tell you because you're like, well, what have you had done? There's this one I saw today, Beverly Hills Plastic Surgery. Yeah, so I like watching the cases on those. Not so much the botch stuff because, you know, when I see somebody with 3, you know.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, it's just not me.
Man, we about to take a break. We still need to find out what the ratchet song is. But we come back. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Back with the crush in a moment.
Vince Lombardi once said that it's hard to be aggressive when you're confused. Some of us think that taking our lives to the next level, both personally and professionally, is a confusing and complicated process. Guess what? It's not, and I can prove it. My book, Truisms, will show you how living your life by rules that are so self-evident and obvious, you'll say, I knew that. This powerful yet short, detailed bestseller is on sale right now, under $10. Go to michaelmcfadden.com. That's michaelmcfadden.com and let Truisms help you to the next level.
Well, I finally improved my credit score. What? The band is about to be discovered. Rock gods don't need to worry about credit scores. We're supposed to think about how many guitars we've smashed, make ridiculous on tour requests, tragically break up and blame creative differences.
I'm not banking my retirement on a band that's never left your garage.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs, the Georgia Society of CPAs, and the Ad Council.
Marie Callender's knows that you may not have time to roll out dough for a perfectly flaky crust that's made from scratch, or enough time to mix vegetables with all white meat chicken and a homemade gravy. She knows you may not have a moment to crimp the edges of your favorite chicken pot pie, but Marie Callender's does. And when she's done, all you need to do is find time to grab someone special, sit down, and savor. Marie Callender's, it's time to savor.
This is Queen Harrison, U.S. 100-meter hurdler, and I'm rocking with the Crush.
Yes, she is rocking with the Crush. We're still here with Sharon Reed, anchor for CBS 46. So, when you were handling all this, you know, you got a toddler, you're doing your job.
Sure.
You ain't broke, you ain't going crazy right now. I mean, you just, how do you handle a day-to-day?
You know, my day just doesn't stop, but, you know, you hate to even, I'm so busy. I'm blessed. You know, there's a lot of people who are out there struggling. I get to do what I love to do and get paid for it.
Wow.
You know, I've got a beautiful daughter who I just love so much, and she's just enriched my life. So even though she costs me a lot of money, she keeps me, you know, way tired. I wouldn't change anything. I mean, I just love every experience, you know. It's like Beyonce said on her birthday, thank you for every scar, thank you for every, you know, because it all brings you to who you are today. And that perspective is something that you can't buy. Nobody can tell you. You have to live.
Yeah. Now, your time in Philly, is Philadelphia truly just off the chain city?
You know, having grown up there or just outside of the city, it can be a crazy news market, but Philadelphia people, it's like this strange, huge city sandwiched between New York, that matters, and D.C., you know, where everything political comes through, and some culture, pop culture. But Philly is just a big, small town in a lot of ways. And so that's obviously what I knew growing up. I got spoiled watching news there because that is a superb news town. When I grew up, there was, you know, you only watched one station. You know, the same one people tend to watch here for a minute more. And so, you know, to me, it's just home. It's what I know. It didn't necessarily excite me, but it grounded me. You know, it made me feel like, okay, this is home, but there's still a big world out there.
You said earlier that Atlanta may be the last one. So the question is, is there anything else out there that would make you leave at this point in time?
I had to answer it this way. The reason I wanted to get to Atlanta, because it's a top market, it's diverse, it is like Hollywood of the South. There's so much going on here. There's so much shooting here. Why would I leave? You know, if I got clipped, you know, that happens in our business, but I'm not planning on it. Okay, or if something that was something I couldn't pass up. You know, but I just feel like I can have my cake and eat it right here. Everything I need is right here. You know, it's a great place, you know, for my daughter, experiencing everything this city has to offer. I think that's an incredible gift to her. Doesn't mean that there's not other great cities out there, but she comes first in my mind. But Mom really likes Atlanta too. So
I love it. As a Hoya Georgetown graduate, you keep up with the basketball team up there. You were proud of AI going to the hall.
You know what? I am proud of him. I think that no matter who you are, what you've achieved, when you have these battle scars and you go through things, sometimes when people act out, it's a vulnerable place. It comes from a deep-seated insecurity. And I think to just judge the behavior or the outward and not really try to understand isn't fair. We've all been guilty of that. So to see him stand up and get some of what he's due, sure, that makes me proud as a Hoya, as a black woman, as a basketball fan. I think God bless him. I want him just like a lot of other people do, whether he dribbled a ball or just is trying to be a man. I say we got to support each other.
Exactly. Before we go, is one of the things, what are some misconceptions, because you've killed a lot since you've been here. What's the one thing that you really wish, when people say, "Ooh, I think she's this way or this way," what's the one thing you'd be like, I'm not, people, this is
well, I would say a couple of things. I think if you just went online and you looked up stuff, you would really think I'm somebody I'm completely not. But I deliberately don't try to fight that because I'm okay in my skin. When people say, "Oh, I don't really care what people say," but they really do.
That's when they care.
I guess I care, but I'm good with Sharon.
I'm gonna keep doing me.
And the example I set for my daughter, and people who know me know, they don't all this. I mean, they, okay. Right. But even people who don't know me, I'm even okay if they believe some of the myths that are out there, because I get this beautiful opportunity at 4, 5, 6, and 11 every single day to correct the record,
to dig it in your chest,
my mouth,
and put it in your chest.
Right, and then they say, "Well, that's not exactly what I thought it was." Yeah. I think the other misconception sometimes, I remember in the Battle of Ferguson, and that's really what it was. Yeah. There was a town hall, and none of the other anchors from any of the stations who were invited showed up, but I showed up. And so, I had to get all the fire from and the media does this, and the media does that. And I ended up getting into really an argument with this lady in the audience. Well, I had to tell you, you don't get to tell me how black I am or revoke my black card. Right. You don't get to do that. But you do that to Blondie, who didn't show up, or the other one down the way who was afraid to face you. I'm not. I'm okay with what I said on the air. So I think that's something, but again, it's not the movies. I get to actually be live and in color every day and be myself and have people see you. They really do get to invite you into their homes and say, okay, now I feel like I do know her, and I'll never disrespect that. I always try to make a new friend, or you see somebody out and you take the time, because, that's really what we're here for.
Well, we thank you so much for coming on. We hope you'll come back.
That's our friend. I'll come back. I'm going to be in the studio with my show.
Any shout-outs you want to give? I'm your producer.
She's going to be running my
Yeah. Any shout-outs you want to give?
You know what? I love our team. Tracy, Ben, the producers, Jason, Nikki, everybody, my daughter, who's my inspiration. But I appreciate you guys having me. You guys it's quality work. I'm happy I came tonight.
Yeah, that's my dog. I bugged you a bunch of times. Thanks
for having me.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of our United States. Most people know him as a man of great wisdom and vision. What many don't realize, however, is that when it came to finding late-model sedans at government auctions, or even looking up a zip code, Mr. Lincoln's wisdom was sadly lacking. In fact, the citizens of that day knew it best not to even ask. Fortunately, now there's firstgov.gov, the official place to turn when you need information about federal, state, and local government. Whether it's how to get a student loan, renew your passport, or even apply for a small business loan. All three of which, as numerous historians have noted, were remarkably absent from Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. So go to firstgov.gov. Who knows? If Abe had it in his day, he could have checked out an auction and traded that drafty log cabin for a nice condo on Maui. Firstgov.gov, a monumental source of useful information.
Vince Lombardi once said that it's hard to be aggressive when you're confused. Some of us think that taking our lives to the next level, both personally and professionally, is a confusing and complicated process. Guess what? It's not, and I can prove it. My book, Truisms, will show you how living your life by rules that are so self-evident and obvious, you'll say, I knew that. This powerful yet short, detailed bestseller is on sale right now, under $10. Go to michaelmcfadden.com. That's michaelmcfadden.com, and let Truisms help you to the next level.
Can I have a price check on aisle... ma'am?
Yeah.
Don't look down, but there's a giant python wrapped around your leg.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's probably nothing.
Nothing? Shouldn't I don't know, like, call someone?
No, I don't have the time. I'm late as it is. If it keeps up, I haven't looked at.
Are you sure? That's a pretty big snake.
No, I'm fine. Thank you, though. You're very sweet.
You wouldn't ignore this, so why ignore the signs of a stroke? If you or someone you know suddenly experiences numbness of the face, arm, or leg, or sudden trouble speaking, seeing, or walking, don't wait to get help. Call 911 right away, because time lost is brain lost. To find out more, visit www.strokeassociation.org or call 1-888-4STROKE. This message brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Marie Callender's knows that you may not have time to roll out dough for a perfectly flaky crust that's made from scratch, or enough time to mix vegetables with all white meat chicken and a homemade gravy. She knows you may not have a moment to crimp the edges of your favorite chicken pot pie, but Marie Callender's does. And when she's done, all you need to do is find time to grab someone special, sit down, and savor. Marie Callender's. It's time to say.
This is Teddy Parrish, and you're listening to The Crush on SSNATL.com.
Can I have a price check on aisle... ma'am?
Yeah.
Don't look down, but there's a giant python wrapped around your leg.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's probably nothing.
Nothing? Shouldn't I don't know, like, call someone?
No, I don't have the time. I'm late as it is. If it keeps up, I haven't looked at.
Are you sure? That's a pretty big snake.
No, I'm fine. Thank you, though. You're very sweet.
You wouldn't ignore this, so why ignore the signs of a stroke? If you or someone you know suddenly experiences numbness of the face, arm, or leg, or sudden trouble speaking, seeing, or walking, don't wait to get help. Call 911 right away, because time lost is brain lost. To find out more, visit www.strokeassociation.org or call 1-888-4STROKE. This message brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Okay, so 5 tacos of cheese and a large soda, that's $10,012. Please drive around.
10,000 what?
It's obvious you're buzzed and driving.
I've only had a few. I'm fine.
Yeah, the food's $12, but getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Please drive around. Actually, just park and come in.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is Teddy Parrish, and you're listening to The Crush on SSNATL.com.
Welcome to The Crush right now, brought to you by Parrish Capital. At Parrish Capital, we can help you achieve your financial goals by providing high-quality advisory services and making smart investment decisions. Go to Parrish Capital, that's P-A-R-R-I-S-H, capital with an A.com for more information. Maceo, you want to start it out, man? Nah, you start. I'm having difficulties right now. See, man, you know, they're playing around. I know you ain't talking. Yeah, that's why I'm laughing at you right now. Right. You getting it in. RG3 has been put on the IR for 3 to 4 weeks. Oh, my God. With a shoulder injury. You know, I don't like to, you know, RG knee, RG can't get right. But, you know, he's in another injury. And now they got a meme for him that shows the G as a wheelchair. That's RG3. Yeah, man, that's tough. It's tough, man. That's tough, man. His career, man, it keeps going south, man, for RG3, man.
Hey, man, 10 weeks, man. They say he's going to be out about week 10. Wow. They're going to enter reserve, so he won't be eligible until, like, week 8 to come off.
It all went bad when he was wrongfully named Rookie of the Year.
Who should have been?
It all went bad from there.
It went bad from there?
Shouldn't have happened.
That voice you hear, everybody, is friend of the show. Friend of the show. She family. That's Tyisha Fernandes. Everybody. She in the building. We had to get her
Talk
before.
when I want to talk. You put this mic in my face.
Yeah, I know you put. We had to get. Let's keep going. What you got, Mace? Hey man, word on the street, man, is Reeves Island is out of shape. Say after his off-season surgery, man, say he didn't dedicate himself to the conditioning that he does every year in Arizona, man. And AJ Green gave him that work yesterday, man. Gave him that work yesterday. He went on Reeves Island and built a mansion. You know what I mean? Boat lift. He had a timeshare. Everything. He built a hotel, a yacht out back. He lived on Reeves Island yesterday. Everything. Somebody like that. Y'all go with that phone. I tell you, somebody else gonna get fined besides Glaze. Hey, Broncos Brandon Marshall, he lost his second deal because he took a knee during the national anthem. Hold on, Glaze. We got a phone call? Got a call. Hey, caller, what you crushing on?
Oh, I'm just crushing on your second beautiful guest.
He came in, don't he?
What up, Mike?
Can I just say something? I know you didn't introduce me yet, but I don't really like when Ray J said it. Hi. I don't like when Ray J said it. I hit this mic first. I just want everybody to know. I'm the reason why these beautiful, smart Atlanta sisters in journalism have been parading in here week after week. I'm not hating, though.
We know you're not that kind of person.
No.
I said when it comes to my Cowboys.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on, man.
Are we doing that this early? We're not doing that this early.
Hey, Mike, you got a question for Tyisha, man?
Well, I know she's a Patriots fan, so I won't hold that against her.
No, please don't. I was born and raised. I'm not a bandwagon person. I was born in Brockton, Massachusetts, raised.
But you travel to a lot of cities, so do you
You're right.
support some teams when you're in the city?
I do. I pray for the Falcons, like I pray for my own life.
And we need all the prayers we can get.
Yes.
We are very.
I pray for them.
You need a prayer.
I do want them to win. I don't want people to leave at halftime.
Oh. Thank you, Mike, again, man. Hey, Mike, appreciate that phone call, man. We appreciate it. What number did he call us at, Macy? Hey, man, Mike called us at 678-613-5857. Pray for the Falcons.
I do.
We all pray for them.
That's the best thing you can do. Pray for someone you love.
For the call, man, we're talking about Brandon Marshall, linebacker for the Denver Broncos. He's lost his second endorsement over a week since he took a knee during the national anthem. So now they're beginning to show we're going to start pulling endorsements if you don't agree with you. But he'll pick up that paycheck tomorrow, so he'll be all right. And he only got a fine because he was one of the ones that went to the chin on Cam, too. Yeah, well, he going to get that fine. That's coming. He took a knee and went high with that chin check. FedEx probably the package probably already in his locker. Yep. Yeah, man. What you got, dog? And then San Diego Chargers wide receiver Keenan Allen, man. He tore his ACL, man. Gonna miss the rest of the season, and I have to replace him on my fantasy football team. Bummer. I don't. Eddie J. Blige over there. My last one before we go to break, man, is CM Punk, the wrestler. Took an L at UFC this weekend. He thought it was it ain't scripted. Man, he tapped out real quick in a minute and 44 seconds. I don't watch that stuff, so you know. I know. The UFC, it was the guy called him out, but here's the thing about it. CM Punk got paid $500,000 to take an L, while the winner only made $30,000 to win. Sometimes names sell. And when you buy something for $4.5 billion, you got to make sure them box office pay-per-views sell well too. But see him sold, but he only gave the crowd a minute and 44 seconds before he went night-night. So, shout out to you, see ya. Terrible. Anything else we got to break, man? Hey, man, Joey Bosa, he's still day-to-day with that hamstring. Joey just he need to pay money back for all that time. Man, when you miss all of camp, because of your contract situation, you're not going to be ready. All the conditioning in the world that you do can't get you ready for the season. It just can't. You can run through ropes and flip tires and all that good stuff there. It's not going to help you, man. It's not going to help you. Yep. Last but not least, man, Cardinals GM Steve Keim said that loss yesterday to them Patriots was unacceptable, man. How you going to lose when Gronk and Tom Brady out the building? And then they ride to your city and then they beat you in your city without their two best players.
And you just made a 59-yard field goal and you missed a 47. I mean,
we weren't supposed to talk about that.
I'm sorry.
Here.
I'm sorry.
I forgot. Everyone in the corner too. Everyone in the corner.
Sometimes people choke, you know. You get it, Maceo. You deal with it a lot.
We'll be
The dream of the future brought to reality by Sensation Station Network.
This is Bobby Yalla.
This is Judge Hatch.
This is Lamar Batman Cuz.
Yo, this is Teddy Parrish. This is Keon Carpenter, former Atlanta Falcon. You are tuned into The Crush on
Sensation Station Network.
We're back. Let me do this real quick, Maceo. Since the guy who sponsored this segment, one of our longest segments, is
Yeah, man. Mr. Teddy Parrish. Shut up to the microphone.
Hey.
Teddy Parrish.
What's good?
Get your headset right
What's
over
good,
there.
guys? I was just here to, to escort people in and out.
Yeah.
You know what I do.
We know you're going to be an usher today, man. We appreciate it. Hey, man, so what's going on out there, Teddy, in that financial world, man? I see you on TV every week now, it looks like, bro.
You got an interview tonight.
Yeah, things are kind of crazy. The Federal Reserve, the FOMC, is going to make changes to interest rates, and everybody's freaking out. Last week, the market sold off on Friday, freaked everybody out. Then the elections were around the corner, so everybody's on the edge. No reason to be. You know, stay focused.
See, we tell y'all this, man.
Don't quiver.
Don't quiver.
You know, stay the course.
So what's some of the, what's some of the biggest things that people? Why would you tell people don't quiver and just relax a little?
Because any money they invest in the markets doesn't need to be short-term money that they need in the next 3 to 5 years. It needs to be long-term money. If you need it before then, it shouldn't be in the market anyway. So I mean, if you're gambling, I mean, go to Vegas.
Yeah.
The market's not for that. So I mean, you just got to have a strategy, good plan in place.
How hard is it to get people to understand that concept? Hey, you're thinking long term. This is for the long haul. How hard is it to get people to understand that?
That's why my business is good right now, because it's very hard. It's very hard, and people don't understand. And you know, like we talked about 3 or 4 times. I mean, the wealth gap exists not because of just income disparity, but because of our lack of taking risk. Because we don't understand. So I mean, it's an educational process. We have to buy into it and see that it works. I mean, and hopefully I can help with that. You can call me.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a promotion going on now online where I'm taking some meetings with a few folks to help them out with their situation. So, parishcapital.com.
PARRISH capital.
I'm not going to personally meet with them. They got to clear a few screens first.
So since we've started this with you, how has business been for you? You said it's growing, but we're growing, and we hope we know you're growing with us. How has it been for you?
Business has been good. I'm just below $100 million in assets, but my non-compete from my old firm that I built up to $2 billion ends at the end of the year. So you know the episode of Dave Chappelle when he said Eddie Murphy and Rick James walked around the club one time to clear it out? I'm gonna walk around the club one time and clear it out.
And we're gonna be right behind you. We're gonna be right behind you, like, hey, we're with him. We're with him.
So it's been good though.
But you walk around with a crust banner in Paris.
But you gotta think, how good is a guy when you've been on non-compete for a long time? Like, they want to make sure don't nobody get you. Like, we're gonna pay you to just sit over there and don't give nobody that knowledge.
Well, you know, I signed the contract. They had to pay me to leave because I was an owner, but I wasn't going to sit there and not control the business. So I'm doing my thing, chasing my dream right now.
We're
helping people.
Tell them where you're going to be tonight, because y'all need to get this financial information.
David Webb, who's he's a guy who's on Fox Business all the time, real staunch far-right Republican. Great guy, but I'm interviewing with him tonight at 10 for about 15 minutes, talk about the economy, the markets, the election, all kinds of stuff. So money's not blue or red, it's green. So
all the time,
you know,
all the time.
It should be a fiery debate.
So make sure, man, check him out. But always Parish Capital every week.
That's right.
PARRISH capital with an A.com.
It's the crush, Jack.
Yes, sir. And when we come back, man, we are about to go into some realists. It might be some depressing realists. Then after that,
mine all about the Cowboys.
Mine might seem like that too, because it's gonna be Falcons based. And when we come back, Tyisha, I gotta check in. We glad to get you in before you
Change the hours on.
Moving on now. Moving on now.
Georgia Wheezy.
Marie Callender's knows that you may not have time to roll out dough for a perfectly flaky crust that's made from scratch, or enough time to mix vegetables with all white meat chicken and a homemade gravy. She knows you may not have a moment to crimp the edges of your favorite chicken pot pie, but Marie Callender's does. And when she's done, all you need to do is find time to grab someone special, sit down, and savor. Marie Callender's, it's time to savor.
Can I have a price check on aisle... ma'am?
Yeah.
Don't look down, but there's a giant python wrapped around your leg.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's probably nothing.
Nothing? Shouldn't I don't know, like, call someone?
No, I don't have the time. I'm late as it is. If it keeps up, I haven't looked at.
Are you sure? That's a pretty big snake.
No, I'm fine. Thank you, though. You're very sweet.
You wouldn't ignore this, so why ignore the signs of a stroke? If you or someone you know suddenly experiences numbness of the face, arm, or leg, or is sudden trouble speaking, seeing, or walking, don't wait to get help. Call 911 right away, because time lost is brain lost. To find out more, visit www.strokeassociation.org or call 1-888-4STROKE. This message brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Vince Lombardi once said that it's hard to be aggressive when you're confused. Some of us think that taking our lives to the next level, both personally and professionally, is a confusing and complicated process. Guess what? It's not, and I can prove it. My book, Truisms, will show you how living your life by rules that are so self-evident and obvious, you'll say, I knew that. This powerful yet short, detailed bestseller is on sale right now, under $10. Go to michaelmcfadden.com. That's michaelmcfadden.com, and let Truisms help you to the next level.
Hey everybody, this is your girl, actress Reese Odom, and you are tuned in to The Crush on Sensation Station Network.
Really, mate? Really, gang? Really, Crush fans? This is the section of the show where we question the intelligence of our sports brethren. Yeah, we about to start that really. Ain't too happy. Can I go first? Can I go first? Go ahead, man. Go ahead, man. Just jump in, dog. Both feet, dog. Oh, man. Terrence Williams. You really didn't get out of bounds yesterday, man. I have a high school coach here. We work this drill every freaking day, man. It's 2-minute drill, man. Get out of bounds, man. What are you doing? Really? For Dez to be pointed out, if Dez say get out of bounds, you should be getting out of bounds, man. Really, Terrence Williams, man. I'm so freaking disgusted, man. We 0-1. Okay. You up. Yeah, you up. Go ahead. If my coach, Brian Cox, I'm going to say really to you, sir. You're the defensive line coach. Yes, sir. You was all on hard knocks on how hard you is. Jameis Winston threw 33 passes. He was touched 5 times. He wasn't hit. They say he was hit. He was touched 5 times, which means he wasn't sacked, which means he threw for 4 touchdowns. And we still going into Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator, second year, that can't pass rush worth of crap. Yeah. Really? Brian Cox, I'm going to start with you because you're the defensive line coach. What you got, man? Dez Bryant. You really had 1 catch for 8 yards yesterday? We paid you a lot of money to make plays. I look at the other sideline and I see Brundy make play after play after play after play. Meanwhile, you get shut out by Janoris Jenkins, man. 1 catch for 8 yards, and then that thing in the back of the end zone, man. We pay you to come down with that catch, man. Really, Dez Bryant, man. I need him to go get that monkey back, man. Maybe if he get that monkey back, man, things will get better. Really, Dez Bryant. You were my favorite team, so it really was bad. Yo. 1 catch for 8 yards. Anyway, really, Richard Smith and Dan Quinn. That was Seattle, man. That was Seattle. We need to switch our cornerbacks because Robert Alford is toast. He is burnt toast over there. I can cover better than him right now. If you don't switch the field, I know you're trying to do what you did with Richard Sherman and them in Seattle. Nah. We got to flip him on our best receiver. Nah. On the best receiver. Nah. Because the minute they switch the field,
with big boy number 83. I can't think of his name right
Vincent
now.
Jackson.
Vincent Jackson.
Dropping bombs.
All I saw Robert Alford reaching and getting burnt.
That's what he do.
Stop it with the whole we gonna play one side of the field. It ain't working.
That's what he do.
Teams gonna start moving their receivers to that weak side all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Come on, man. Really, y'all? What you gotta make?
I mean, Ezekiel Elliott. Really, Zeke? We took you. This is why I had that look on my face. Earthman took the picture of me when we drafted Ezekiel Elliott. I wasn't happy about it, but then I was like, okay, I get it.
You saw it.
Hey, man, Ezeke, this not college. You can't bounce everything outside, man. You see how Alfred Morris came in the game and he hit that thing up in the middle. Then he got the way he was trying to go. Hey, man, Wisconsin not on the schedule. Michigan not on the schedule. Northwestern not on the schedule. Bro, this the NFL, man. It's that for not for long, man. When you keep trying to bounce everything outside, man. Really, Ezekiel Elliott, I still want Jalen Ramsey now. Bring back Jalen Ramsey. Erase that picture, Earthwind.
He wanted to leave all
Erase that
photos.
picture.
All photos.
Yeah.
Really, Jake Matthews.
Ooh, he got beat down.
6'5", 309.
He got beat down.
And you got abused yesterday. Not only did you get abused and got sacked on your side, but you also had 3 penalties calling you for false start. And 1 for holding, I think.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be our anchor. You're supposed to be the guy we count on, Jake. Your daddy is not happy right now, Jake. His dad is Bruce Matthews. I mean, Clay Matthews. That's his daddy.
I know.
Really?
I know.
All right, Mason, what you got there?
Hey, man, RG3. Real RG3, dude. Get out of bounds, man. Why you trying to go drop your shoulder on somebody? Dude, you could have stepped out of bounds about 3 yards before you even got the buddy and been still playing. Now your career might be over, man.
Might be over.
Tyisha, you might have been right. Maybe being Rookie of the Year was a curse.
I'm just saying, he shouldn't have gotten, in my opinion, Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
So, when that happened, the floor fell out.
This guy, man, I just don't get it, man. I mean, why? Like, you didn't learn nothing while you sat the bench last year and got
When his
paid.
knee went in the other way, he didn't learn after seeing that over and over again.
I don't understand, man. I don't feel bad for him because, like, dog, you ran into that problem right there.
You know who's being pitted right now?
Who that?
His ex-wife.
That's tough.
You done dropped me and pick one up real quick, too. Yeah, he went real quick.
Yeah, well, we knew that was happening.
Now look at your shoulder.
We knew that was happening.
My last one, I go to Arizona. No Gronk. You got
No Brady.
No Brady.
No Gronk.
Well, we knew Brady wasn't
And
gonna be
you
there.
couldn't make a 47-yard field goal.
That makes you proud.
It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't. When you get to that position and you miss the play of the game, I mean, it just wasn't meant for you to win. It's just so y'all know that you can take away our anchor and our giant, and we still won. But we should against Arizona, just like y'all should have against the Buccaneers. But no shade, Falcons, because I am rooting for y'all too. And since we don't even play each other in the regular season, I can root for both. Right?
That's how I feel about that.
No one can tell me I can't. Who I won't root for is the Cowboys. That's just running into the brick wall over and over and over again.
So as y'all see this interview, when we come back, it's about to be off the chain. Yeah, because we don't get along, y'all. Y'all don't find out.
I'm not scared of him, y'all.
Yeah.
Yes, she is.
Yes, really, man.
Unless you're not. Stay with us.
Vince Lombardi once said that it's hard to be aggressive when you're confused. Some of us think that taking our lives to the next level, both personally and professionally, is a confusing and complicated process. Guess what? It's not, and I can prove it. My book, Truisms, will show you how living your life by rules that are so self-evident and obvious, you'll say, I knew that. This powerful yet short, detailed bestseller is on sale right now, under $10. Go to michaelmcfadden.com. That's michaelmcfadden.com, and let Truisms help help you to the next level.
Marie Callender's knows that you may not have time to roll out dough for a perfectly flaky crust that's made from scratch, or enough time to mix vegetables with all white meat chicken and a homemade gravy. She knows you may not have a moment to crimp the edges of your favorite chicken pot pie, but Marie Callender's does. And when she's done, all you need to do is find time to grab someone special, sit down, and savor. Marie Callender's, it's time to savor.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Hi, I'm Harold Dennis, and I'm running for the office of DeKalb County Sheriff. I believe that there is a brighter future for DeKalb County, and as your sheriff, I will take a tough stance against those who choose to violate our laws and remain actively involved in building a rapport with our youth, which will combat the increasingly violent crimes committed by their peers. This will increase the value of our community in which I was proudly born and raised, allow me the opportunity to continue my philosophy of public service and building a sound and responsive sheriff's office. Harold Dennis, vote for me November 8th for DeKalb County Sheriff. And let's take DeKalb back. I'm Harold Dennis, and I approve this message.
Hey Crush fans, I'm Tyisha Fernandes. You're listening to The Crush on Sensation Station Network.
Did somebody release some blunt powder here or something?
Somebody's eating watermelon now-laters.
3 sprays last tomorrow.
I can smell them. I remember they were 10 cents. Stop playing.
Hey man, the question interview brought to you by ORC Software. ORC's motto is when a customer engages one of us, they engage all of us. Go to ORC.com for more information. I don't even know why we're doing this, but go ahead and do the official.
Well, I mean, since I'm an agent, you know what I'm saying, she just got a promotion. You know, shout out to
you
me.
ain't getting the 10%.
I like for 10.
Oh, okay. Agents usually ask for
no, but I thought we discussed this already.
What?
Coming to the microphone, everybody, man. Since she got amnesia, we're going to put in concussion protocol. Tyisha Fernandes in the building. What's going on, Tyisha?
What's up, The Crush? Poppin'.
Hey, your shirt, very nice shirt. Nice.
I'm better, thank you. I had to cut the sleeves off because, you know.
Yeah, we know.
My sister and I, we just had to make stuff our own.
No doubt.
You know, shout out to her wearing the Crush t-shirt in Brockton, Massachusetts.
Shout out. Let's start with that.
Yes.
You and your sister be rocking that Zumba.
Listen, Maceo got a little piece of the Zumba when I came and worked him out, when he came to work out with me. But yes, we have been teaching Zumba. We own a Zumba studio in Brockton, Massachusetts. We started it when our mom passed away. It did so much for us mentally, financially, emotionally. It's still going. My sister's running it now. But yeah, we are officially the Zumba Queens, and we do it like no other.
Right. You had this thing we talk about every day, sweat equity.
Yeah.
You gotta break this sweat. You know, I use that hashtag.
We sparkle.
Yeah.
We sparkle.
Just talk about sweat equity.
Listen, if you're not sweating, you're not doing anything. People crack me up when they go to the gym and they're on their phone scrolling through Instagram and Facebook the whole time like, yeah, I went to the gym. No, you didn't. You went and you looked at stuff. You didn't do anything. Our Zumba studio is for real. It's results. You kind of want to smack us and hug us at the same time. But I tell you what, you look good when you've been with us for a while.
She said she looked at
Maceo needs more classes. He only took one. Hence why he's got a little more to go, y'all. So don't blame me.
Yeah, I was cranking it up that day.
We were.
So, how do you balance all that? Because you're an entrepreneur. You're doing your thing for WSB.
Yes.
How are you balancing all that?
Well, here's the thing. So I was running my Zumba studio full time with my sister in Brockton when I was kind of recovering from my mom passing away. And then when I got the job at WSB, we, made a plan to hire some other people to relieve the pressure off of her so we could still run the studio, but I knew I had to continue to follow my dreams in journalism. So I came out here, but I go home like every month. We're always making a business plan. We always have people.
Every week.
Yeah, I do go home a lot. I do. I go home a lot. I gotta see my dad. I gotta see my sister. I gotta see the rest of my family, and I gotta check on my business. But listen, Zumba balances me from the crazy life that I live with, interviewing people on the worst day of their lives. And then I've got to relieve that pressure at some point because I can't take that stuff home with me.
Right. And
when I sweat it out, it's symbolic for me, both, emotionally and just staying in shape. I'm 37. I got to keep up with these little 20-year-olds.
Now, I helped broker this deal, so you're moving to a new shift.
Yeah, I am.
Let's talk about the new shift that I got.
Yes. So I'm on the horrible shift right now of off Mondays and Tuesdays, and I work weekend nights and nights during the week. But, I wouldn't be able to be here right now if I wasn't off Monday, Tuesday, so we have to look at everything like a blessing.
No doubt.
However,
right.
I'm moving to Monday through Friday dayside, which is prime time, Deion Sanders schedule. That's happening in 2 weeks. So you'll be able to catch me Monday through Friday on the 4, 5, and 6 p.m. news. And it's just a big deal. And, to God goes all the glory.
So she can really come here after.
Yeah. You know what? I can come here always. That's why I'm here. I'm back again. But no, I love hanging out with y'all.
I'm glad you're getting off the script.
I know. I can talk. Stop. Stick to the script.
Glaze, I got her this position. Let us get comfortable in this position first.
Right.
And then, okay, yeah, I messed that up.
But no, it's a blessing to be able to move to a much better schedule. Mm-hmm. I've been here less than 2 years. November will be 2 years. I've worked really hard, and clearly it's showing. But I have to be honest, too. Timing is everything.
No doubt.
The opportunity for me to get to this point, people who are just as good as me or better weren't able to do it in this amount of time because of the timing of things. But for me, God has a purpose for me. God placed me here. I'm here, and I'm just rolling with it, man.
All right, not to get too savvy, but recently I see you post about your mom.
Always.
What does she mean in your life?
Oh, my goodness. So my mom, I know everybody thinks their mom is the best, but my mom just poured her heart and soul into me and had me believing that I could do anything and be anything. And, I really believed it. And here I am. So I have so much more work to do. But my mom was just such a light in my life and just prepared me for things that I had no idea she was preparing me for. She passed away in 2010 from a brain aneurysm, literally 2 days before retirement. So we were all getting ready to celebrate her retirement, and then, boom, it just hit us. And for anybody who's lost a parent, you know what that feels like, especially when it's unexpected. And a lot of people don't know, I also had just interviewed for the Boston job, Boston Fox 25 News, the week my mom passed away. So it was like the best thing and the worst thing happened to me in 1 week. And, that's just a lot on anybody. I'm pretty strong, but that took a lot out of me. It was like knocking the wind out of me and then like having to keep moving. But I think that it's part of my resilience. It builds character for me. I feel like I can do anything. I can knock Maceo out if I need to. I can do anything.
Like I said, y'all, we have this, like, she gonna make me. But, okay. With you moving to this shift now,
yes.
that I got you. You
Yes.
gotta always add that in.
Yes.
How does that change your schedule as far? What time do you have to go in now?
So I go in at 9 a.m. as opposed to now I go in at 2:30 p.m. So, I got to be ready. And what a lot of people don't know about WSB, you have to come to the meeting with a story ready to go that moment at 9 a.m. So that means you had to be working on that story that you're pitching the day before while you're working your other story. So it's definitely going to be, the temperature's going up, the pressure's up, but I feel like I can take on the challenge with the reward of having a real life where I can be off on weekends and do things with my friends and family on the weekends. Because working weekends just takes a toll. You try to be mentally just, I'm okay, but you're missing so many moments with people. So I'll be glad that I can do that.
Oh, Lord, it's going to be crunk when she get here on weekends, y'all.
Atlanta
is not ready.
No, y'all ain't ready.
It's not ready. Because the thing is, not like her schedule really kept her from turning up. It's just she had to turn up. She was slipping in.
Work hard, turn coming up hard. I'll always admit that. I mean, some news people won't, but listen, we're human too. We're human too.
We come back, man. I gotta ask. I've seen you do some stories some places, and I was like, girl, you need to go home.
Right.
Yeah,
she gonna be okay?
It's 10:30 at night.
Right.
All over Baghdad.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Hi, I'm Harold Dennis, and I'm running for the office of DeKalb County Sheriff. I believe that there is a brighter future for DeKalb County, and as your sheriff, I will take a tough stance against those who choose to violate our laws and remain actively involved in building a rapport with our youth, which will combat the increasingly violent crimes committed by their peers. This will increase the value of our community in which I was proudly born and raised, allow me the opportunity to continue my philosophy of public service and building a sound and responsive sheriff's office. Harold Dennis, vote for me November 8th for DeKalb County Sheriff. And let's take DeKalb back. I'm Harold Dennis, and I approve this message.
Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of our United States. Most people know him as a man of great wisdom and vision. What many don't realize, however, is that when it came to finding late-model sedans at government auctions, or even looking up a zip code, Mr. Lincoln's wisdom was sadly lacking. In fact, the citizens of that day knew it best not to even ask. Fortunately, now there's firstgov.gov, the official place to turn when you need information about federal, state, and local government. Whether it's how to get a student loan, renew your passport, or even apply for a small business loan. All three of which, as numerous historians have noted, were remarkably absent from Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. So go to firstgov.gov. Who knows? If Abe had it in his day, he could have checked out an auction and traded that drafty log cabin for a nice condo on Maui. Firstgov.gov, a monumental source of useful information.
This is Judge Hatchett, and you're listening to The Crush on SSNATL.com.
And we're back. Tyisha, give a shout out to our people out here at Periscope. They've been wanting some love right here.
Oh, Periscope, what's poppin'? I haven't made it to you guys yet because I feel like I might get myself in trouble. That's just too much access.
Yeah.
You know?
That's too much access.
But
so let me ask you this. While you were out there, you changed the shifts and all, but I saw you do one story out there in Cobb County, and I was like, they just did some shooting, and here she is.
Which one?
At this hotel.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't that scary.
But when you're out there, though, it's nighttime, and you're sitting there, and all that's going on. What's your thought process?
Well, here's the thing. I feel like I'm just one of those people that thinks when it's your time, it's your time. So I have one job, and that's to get out there and get something different than all the other stations. So I'm going to do it.
Wow.
And somehow I get people to talk when they don't feel like talking, and that's why a lot of times the other stations just follow me around with their microphone because they know I'm going to get it.
Now, this is what I want to know, because you, again, the last few stories you have to actually go in a lot of homes, have to go into these buildings, and like you said, it's the worst. It's like the worst possible thing going on.
Right.
Just how do you go about gathering yourself before you sit down with the family or the parent of one of these crazy situations that you're in?
You got to read body language. You have to read what situation you're in, what happened, who's around you. You know, no one wants to be approached by a person with a microphone and a camera who's a stranger. So I always try to be as humble as I possibly can, really have eye contact with the person and let them know. First thing I usually say is, listen, I know I'm the last person you want to talk to right now. You know, and I let them know that I feel gracious and humbled that they even give me a chance to speak to them, because we're not the police. You don't have to talk to us. And a lot of times, too, I just explain to them that we're trying to memorialize the person who just died, because usually it's a person who died. And the worst thing is to turn us down, and then when you turn on your TV later, you're wondering why your loved one has no name and no identity and no background and no humanity. And it's because if we don't get information or pictures, then you don't feel like they were memorialized the way they should have been. So I try to just get that across, and it works most of the time, and sometimes it doesn't.
One of my favorite stories you've done, and I forget the young man's name, but the kid at Southern who was paralyzed.
Love him. Yeah.
And you've done a couple of stories on him.
Yes.
Talk about the relationship you've created with him and working with him and seeing him come back and getting feeling in his legs and things of that nature.
Well, he is one of my favorite stories. When I first met him, he really didn't know what was going to be happening. He had no movement. And over the course of this year that I've been covering his story, he's just been getting better and better, and I've gotten close to his mom and his dad and his sister and a couple of his cousins. He is just really like, after you talk to him, you feel like everything that you've been worrying about and stressing about is so irrelevant. Because, he was just out there playing football. Making plays like everybody does, and just that small chance of you hitting that spine in that wrong way, he did, and he's a wonderful, wonderful guy. We were just texting the other day. He was saying he hasn't seen me in a while, so I probably have to do another update with him soon, because he said he's getting better and better.
That's excellent.
Now,
Devon Gales, I need to say.
Yeah. Now, you and your sis, you took a story all the way home.
Oh, I love this.
And you guys did a Zumba off. I don't know, right?
Sort of.
Yeah.
I covered this fire, and it was in this low-income housing development, and, a lot of the buildings, one building was damaged, but not every apartment in the building was damaged. And a few months later, the people called me and said that they weren't able to go get their stuff, even though they could have, because it wasn't damaged. Well, I did a story. They finally let them into the place, and by that time, some people had stolen all of their stuff. I mean, birth certificates, passports, important documents, family albums, just stole stuff that just didn't even mean anything to them. And so I just, on my own, I said, you know what? I know that I have the ability to make money with my Zumba people, and right at that moment, I said to myself, I'm gonna raise some money for them. And of course, my sister, Diana Boisvert,
off the chain,
formerly Fernandes, was totally down with me. And I told her the story. I told my Zumba girls the story. We set up a date. We did it. And we raised like nearly $2,000. And we were able to get clothes and a bike and give them money. And it just felt so good, like better than any story. It felt great to give back to those people.
What's the official name? Was it Zumbathon?
We call it a Zumbathon. Yeah, it's a Zumbathon. And basically it's women who already pay to work out in our studio. We tell them what the cause is, and they donate, and we don't make them. We say, you've already paid your dues, but if you could just donate 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever you can, they do it, and it adds up. And people who didn't even come to Zumba that night came to give me money to help these people in Atlanta that they did not know. So when I root for my Patriots, respect the fact that there are some great people in Massachusetts who support my people here in Atlanta that I come across, that I just, I know that I'm put in that position to help them. I mean, why else would I be there? Why else would my spirit move to help them? It's not me. All the glory goes to God.
A Cape Verdean compadre.
She got to get the hot seat.
It's coming up.
She got to get the hot seat. And then you know what?
I can take the heat.
There, we need to do a special hot seat for
right after that. We'll do on Earth Wind.
I want to be a part of that too.
Yeah, we're back to back hot seat. Yo, we breaking ground here on the Crush.
Mom, Dad, guess what? Now how you're always talking to me about not doing drugs like pot and ecstasy and cocaine, how they're dangerous and illegal. Well, you don't have to worry anymore. My friends and I have found a much better way to get high. And you'll be happy to know it's not even illegal. Nice, huh? Want to know what we're doing? Alright, I'll tell you. We use cough medicine. Seriously, the stuff in the medicine cabinet. You didn't notice it was missing? Oh, well, I guess lucky for me then.
Last year,
More than 2 million teens risk blackouts, seizures, even comas, intentionally abusing ordinary cough medicine, the kind in virtually every home in America. Never heard of it? Bet your kids have.
And it's gotta be safe, because it's medicine, right?
When you talk to your kids about drugs, make sure you start with the ones in the medicine cabinet. Need help getting the conversation started? Go to drugfree.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
In 50 feet, turn left. Why are you driving so slowly?
After a few drinks, I'm taking it slow.
Well, you're not fooling the cop behind you.
What?
Get ready to pay in 0.1 miles.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is Amari Batman Karen. You listen to The Crush, the only sports radio show that they're going to keep it real in the A on Sensation Station Network.
Time for the Hot Seat Hotline.
4, 3, 2, 1. Time for the hot seat. We putting Tyisha Fernandes.
What?
You ready, man? Man, get her.
Get me.
Your favorite sport to watch?
Football.
Music people will be shocked that you listen to.
Classical.
What's
relaxing.
I love to ask this question. But what's that ratchet song that you just go to right now?
Which one would it be? Because I like a few. Is it just me? You shouldn't be free.
Got that drink. So with that ratchet song, do the ratchet dancers come with it?
You know it. You gotta get that in there. You ain't about to record me on this and this.
No, I was just asking when it comes on. We weren't telling you to do it.
It comes out.
I'm your agent. I can't have you doing
I
that.
know, exactly.
Right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Turn the cameras off.
Do that kind of stuff. So appropriate.
What's that spot you got to go to when you with your girls in ATL?
In ATL? Ooh, I don't know if I can say it.
Don't say it.
I won't.
Say that one.
But I do love Love Lounge. They play African music. You know, I'm Cape Verdean, which is in West Africa. And Love Lounge plays the Nigerian, the Afro beats, and just the poppin' tunes. If you want to dance and not go to the typical Atlanta spot where everyone wants to be too cool and, you know, too Instagram famous, go to Love Lounge because people dance and don't give a crap about holding up the wall and looking cool.
There's a lot of walls held up in Atlanta right now.
Yeah, I'm like, what is the point? No, they're on Snap. They're like,
we need to be on
why do you have your phone out? I don't want to even look at the phone. Like, and don't. Everyone's tired of the Snap in the club, duck face. Like, do something.
Please stop putting the flowers around your head.
Oh my God!
Please break. Like, you don't even like flowers that much.
Enjoy the moment. Yeah. I like to enjoy the moment. What else you got? Bring it.
I can't stop laughing. But this funny story.
Yes.
It's not really funny, but because people, they get you so wrong all the time.
They do.
And once they realize that you have this bubbly type person, that I've had like 4 different people like, man, she really is cool. I'm like,
they don't know.
Like, why
you can't show that when I'm telling you that, you know, an Atlanta police officer just got indicted for murdering an unarmed man. I can't be like Zumba. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be one or the other. It's vanilla or chocolate. You can't have a twist when I'm on the news. That's why you got to, you know, find out what I'm doing out in the community, because I do all kinds of stuff out in the community, and that's when people really get to know me.
What's the craziest thing that when you've been reporting somebody said to make you be like,
oh my goodness. Okay, so one night I was at Clark, Atlanta, and we covered a protest that had gone on earlier about another unarmed black man getting shot. And, you know, these fools drinking on the yard, they just see me and start running toward me. Ayo! Ayo! And I want to be like, seriously, like, I'm talking about something so serious right now, but I just gave them a look. Like, and she just, like, stopped in her tracks. I gave her the hand, and I gave her a look, like, not today, don't do it. And she didn't. So,
Wow, she said,
shout out to
"Ayo,"
Clark Atlanta.
running.
Yeah, running toward me. Ayo! No. I'm busy. And when I had to explain to her, she's like, well, I didn't know what you were out here doing. Do you see me ever reporting on a carnival or anything for you to be ayoing and jumping up and down behind me? No, never.
When we come back, man, we're going to put Earthwind in the hot seat next.
Well, I finally improved my credit score.
What? The band is about to be discovered. Rock gods don't need to worry about credit scores. We're supposed to think about how many guitars we've smashed, make ridiculous on-tour requests, tragically break up and blame creative differences.
I'm not banking my retirement on a band that's never left your garage.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs, the Georgia Society of CPAs, and the Ad Council.
Marie Callender's knows that you may not have time to roll out dough for a perfectly flaky crust that's made from scratch, or enough time to mix vegetables with all white meat chicken and a homemade gravy. She knows you may not have a moment to crimp the edges of your favorite chicken pot pie, but Marie Callender's does. And when she's done, all you need to do is find time to grab someone special, sit down, and savor. Marie Callender's, it's time to save.
Vince Lombardi once said that it's hard to be aggressive when you're confused. Some of us think that taking our lives to the next level, both personally and professionally, is a confusing and complicated process. Guess what? It's not, and I can prove it. My book, Truisms, will show you how living your life by rules that are so self-evident and obvious, you'll say, I knew that. This powerful yet short, detailed bestseller is on sale right now, under $10. Go to michaelmcfadden.com. That's michaelmcfadden.com. and let Truisms help you to the next level. Yo, it's your boy Michael McFadden. If you hear my voice right now, that means you're tuned in to The Crush on Sensation Station Network. Shout out to them Cowboys. Not for real. Maceo Glaze, what up?
Time for the Hot Seat Hotline.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Back I do our third hot seat for the night.
Boy, we getting the hot seat in.
Real quick, head coach of Grady High School. Got one of NFL most famous names.
Yeah, you know, all name team forever.
Earthwind Moreland. What's up, Coach?
Hey. Coach Hickman, Coach said, hey, man, I'm downstairs. Let's get it.
Yeah, him downstairs. Great thing about being a high school coach.
You get to pour into a lot of young people, men and women, because, you know, my trainers, they're young ladies, so just this past year I had 2 young ladies to go on to college to pursue it more, so it's not just the men, young women as well.
How many times you use your favorite word Friday night?
Wait, what's his favorite word?
I'll tell you.
It's bleep.
Man,
it's the double one.
Okay. I know which one it is.
I'll just say enough to where I didn't really talk much Saturday.
Oh, man, you got a question, Tyisha?
I do. So, how do you see the difference between young people nowadays as far as their work ethic with social media and everything? Because my thing is, I think social media dilutes people's ambition and drive. Do you think that young people are working less?
Absolutely. They're working a lot less. A lot of it, and no disrespect, but a lot of it is the parenting, because I know with my mom, anything I was put into or anything I told her I wanted to do, even if I felt like it wasn't going the right way, I couldn't quit.
Amen.
Well, nowadays, if it's one little thing happen, if they don't get 4 passes when they think, you know, I'm ready to quit, and the parents are cool with it. So that's I think that's the biggest thing, you know, nowadays, where they just don't understand, you know, the hard work that you have to put into it in order to really get results.
They're entitled, man.
Coaching in the APS program.
Whew. I love it, but they make a whole lot more down south.
With a lot less headaches.
Yes, with a lot less headaches.
A lot less headaches.
You got, I love my booster club. Don't get me wrong. I love my booster club. I love Grady. But just this past weekend, we went down to Ware County, and, I got 2 friends that are on the staff. I mean, they have different issues, but at the same time, they get paid for those issues.
Yes, yes. Everybody D1. How much did they get on your nerve? Cause you know that's why I retired, but how much did they get on your nerve, Coach?
Well, I mean, they are D1. They got the Little League D1. Some of them are still on that level. Yeah. Everybody is D1, and like I just came from watching film, and I told them, well, I mean, everybody gets offers. I even tell them sometimes I can write my daughter's name to a college, and she can get paperwork.
Oh yeah, she can get all. Yeah, she can get all.
They don't know. They don't know who she is.
Yeah.
So until you sign on that dotted line, it isn't going to matter. And the reality of it is it was this quote I was just looking at, and it made so much sense. And I sent it to my team. It says less than 5% of high school athletes come to all summer workouts. But on the flip side of that, less than 5% go on to play college football.
Boy.
So, hey,
amen.
Hand in hand.
I think a lot of them don't really realize when they take off their equipment as a high schooler, that might be the last time you wear it. You might be going to drop fries.
They all think they're going pro.
Yeah. Drop fries.
They ain't going college. They going pro. They going to skip fries.
Yeah, man. We got one more segment.
Then when we come back, we're going to wrap this puppy up.
This is fun. Stay with us, Sister Crush.
Mom, Dad, guess what? Now you're always talking to me about not doing drugs like pot and ecstasy and cocaine, how they're dangerous and illegal. Well, you don't have to worry anymore. My friends and I have found a much better way to get high. And you'll be happy to know it's not even illegal. Nice, huh? Want to know what we're doing? Alright, I'll tell you. We use cough medicine. Seriously, the stuff in the medicine cabinet? You didn't notice it was missing? Oh, well, I guess lucky for me then.
Last year, more than 2 million teens risked blackouts, seizures, even comas, intentionally abusing ordinary cough medicine, the kind in virtually every home in America. Never heard of it? Bet your kids have.
And it's gotta be safe, 'cause it's medicine, right?
When you talk to your kids about drugs, make sure you start with the ones in the medicine cabinet. Need help getting the conversation started? Go to drugfree.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
Listen, as a hiring manager, I've got to tell you, the best job candidate isn't always the typical candidate. Sometimes they're a grad of life.
Meet the grads of life. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Sometimes the best candidates aren't the ones you're used to.
Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Did you know that Lions Clubs International has been collecting used eyeglasses for years? Lions members take the donated glasses, classify them by prescription, and redistribute them to needy people all over the world. Each year, over 1 million pairs of eyeglasses are given to those who may not be able to afford proper eye care. Take a look around your house. I'm sure you'll find at least one pair of glasses that no longer fits your prescription. Someone, somewhere, can use those glasses. Lions Clubs everywhere urge you to take the time to find your old glasses and then take them to the convenient drop-off sites in your community. This message brought to you by Lions Clubs International.
Well, I finally improved my credit score. What? The band is about to be discovered. Rock gods don't need to worry about credit scores. We're supposed to think about how many guitars we've smashed, make ridiculous on tour requests, tragically break up and blame creative differences.
I'm not banking my retirement on a band that's never left your garage.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs, the Georgia Society of CPAs, and the Ad Council.
This is Robert Hicks, ex-NFL football player and actor with The Blind Side, and you're with The Crush at ssnatl.com, Sensation Station Network.
Welcome to that Crush Recap brought to you by Blunt Power. With Blunt Power 3 sprays last for days. You can find out more about Blunt Power at their website, bluntpower.com, or go to their Facebook page, Blunt Power, and all that Twitter page at Blunt Power. Shout out to Greg. He came through yesterday and hollered at his boys yesterday.
Yeah, man, Greg was supposed to be here tonight. He said brick walls.
Brick walls. That's what it was.
Yeah, he said brick walls. Whatever brick walls mean, I feel you, dog.
I feel you, Greg.
I feel you.
Hey, man, since Earth went in, let's talk Earth went. So, you right now, you're 2-1, right?
Yeah, 2-1.
2-1. How's the season been going from what you see with the Greater High School right now?
I'm really excited about this season. I really think we have a chance to do some things that no other team has done in Greater High School, not even when I was there. The last 2 games were against 2 teams that lost in the semifinals last year in 4A, with Woodward and Ware County. So when I scheduled those games, that's what I had in mind, to get some quality opponents in before the playoffs start, because I think we have the opportunity to make a good push in the playoffs this year, and we will, if they just buy into what we're saying. All of them still haven't bought in fully, but once they do, we have a great chance to do some very spectacular things.
Now, so was it last week Caden rushed for over 100 yards, 100+ yards?
Yeah, against Woodward he rushed for 207.
Wow.
But even in the loss this past Friday, he threw for 372.
Wow. So he's got the senior thing is clicked in.
Oh, it's clicked in. Right now he has 792 yards passing. 3
Wow. Jack, you putting it up.
Hey.
I think it was this summer when the brother got in his tail.
We auditioning for the Falcons.
I see right when come to the game. That's my dude right there.
They need some fresh new talent.
Absolutely.
So how do you got some talent on that squad? Yeah, some real big time talent. How do you temper making sure that they focus on this senior year and not look to next year?
Just anytime things come up, via, Twitter, Instagram, whatever the case may be, when I see things that have happened to other athletes, I let them know about it, post it, and say, hey, this could be you. As a young teenager, you're already going to make mistakes. But if I can prevent you from making bigger mistakes that you really can avoid, then that's what I'm going to do, regardless of what way I have to do it, whether it's I have to, say some choice words or whatever the case.
No, they need to hear it.
Whatever the case may be, but they know it's coming from a good place, because at the same time, we pride ourselves as coaches at Grady on doing like team bonding events with them, so they can kind of learn to get together, because we have this motto that we say, we all we got, and that's really all we have, because I tell them the same people that pat them on the back will be the same people that tell you you're sorry.
But they don't talk about like, hey,
can't make it.
Bunch of front runners. Everybody just love a winner. Yeah.
Yes.
And I guess that's one of the funny parts about coaching, is really getting those kids to understand that when you say we all we got, like, hey, when we in this locker room, listen, nobody been here with us this summer. They just buying tickets. Right. They just showing up. See, they don't see the work that we done put in. So when your daddy be hollering, man, I didn't run that play, bruh, come to practice, and you see why we run that play.
Exactly. Nobody's seen me yelling at you in 100-degree weather.
Yeah.
And if you're going to put that amount of time into something, why not go ahead and do it wholeheartedly?
Sweat equity, baby.
Yep.
Yeah. I might need to get my team on some Zumba.
No, I will come teach a class to them. Hopefully they'll be paying attention what they're supposed to be paying attention to.
They will.
Yeah, no.
Because he got them trust words for him, so they gonna listen to him.
No, I'll definitely
do that. You can't televise this because everyone might be there.
Yeah, you can always get stuff out.
Yeah. We might have a conversation beforehand. If we're gonna tell them.
Hey, when the mom and daddy, hey, boy, don't embarrass me.
Hey,
I got to touch me. I'm gonna have a come ask for me. We're gonna have a come to Jesus moment.
Yeah, I'll be as covered up as possible.
So, Tyisha, you been able to feel this down south high school football thing now?
Now that I'm going to be off Friday nights, I'll be able to come to some games, and I'm expecting Earthwind to get me in.
Oh, no, you will be able to come on the sideline.
All right,
don't get too close. Don't get too close.
No, it's happening.
Well, she tough, so she try to shoot somebody at elbow. she walk around like
she knows what quality football is. She's a Patriots fan.
Yes, and I love to see high school kids who really are trying to get it, you know? It's different than the NFL. I like high school and college. Yeah. It's just a different sentiment than the NFL.
I mean, I just you know, man, hey, we gotta get to them playoffs this year, man. We gotta go a little deeper this year, brother. You know, we with you. We're gonna be. You got that crush love, so we.
Yeah, and like
you know, you went to another station for a little bit, man.
Don't let him do it. We got so many reporters up in here. So many reporters.
You first, so
you right. First. I hit this mic first, but don't be trying to get on Earth Wind for get on that radio station.
I mean, and that's
y'all
why
do what you do.
Right. That's why I scheduled those two games, because last year when we went to Thompson, it was a shock to some of my players because they only had been in Metro Atlanta playing. When they actually got to go down and see a real football town, it was something to see. So,
yeah, Thompson right around the corner from my little hometown. So, yeah, they play some ball down there.
Yeah,
they play some ball down there.
They're doing pretty well so far this year as well.
Yeah, they won't schedule Lincoln County. They never would.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one, Link.
Yeah.
I played with some of those.
Gerard
Freeman and Rico Tiller.
Yeah, hey man,
But Coach, I'm you know, because I mean I know you, so I kind of know this answer. But as we come going into this part of the season, here, region getting ready to come up, what's one of the biggest selling points you try to get your kids to understand? Because now it really counts now.
Yeah, well, for one, the biggest thing is, we were just talking about road trips. But if you are number one in the region, you play at home.
Boy, you ain't got to go nowhere.
You don't have to go anywhere until about the third round.
Yeah.
It's like getting that A in that course. You don't have to take the final.
Right,
exactly. And it's nothing like being able to sleep in your own bed and not leave on a Thursday and sleep somewhere else and not have your fans there, because I mean, like I said, Ware County, that was a 4-hour trip. I got home, I got to work Friday at 7. I got home Saturday at 5 a.m.
Hold on, y'all went down the day of?
We went down the day of.
No.
That was the regular season.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, regular season.
Regular season, hey, it's called saving.
But that's a shame, Coach, because
we could have done it. I chose to do that.
Okay.
I just chose to do it. But we actually got down there in enough time. Like I said, it was just mental breakdowns because we got to Ware County at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that'll do a number on you right there. You know?
And we had very nice, I laid it out, we had very nice tour buses. Each one of them, they had Wi-Fi.
Oh, now you gonna do it first class now. What about you now? You gonna do it first class.
Good accommodations, but if they were home, they would have been in a better mind space.
I'll let you go ahead and say it's the what way?
It's the Patriot way.
I'll let you do
it. I love him. I'm so gonna be on the sideline with him.
All right, man, we about to break this up. Real quick, 31-16, Pittsburgh's over Washington, 2 minutes left.
Oh, my God, really?
Yeah, man.
I mean, Washington, y'all got one freaking job, man. Hate the Steelers.
And late on the night, L.A. plays San Fran. Let's go, girly. We'll see what's going on.
Fantasy points.
Tyisha, Earthwind, any shout-outs y'all like to give before we leave today?
I just want to give a shout out to my sister. I know she's listening. I want to give a shout out to everybody who supports me in ATL. I know I shout out the Patriots a lot, but I do love Atlanta. I love being here. Thank you for being along with me on my journey.
September 26th.
Yes.
What's up, Earthwind?
I'd like to shout out all the APS coaches. I mean, you know, they're putting in hard work on the grind. Everybody's trying to make this playoff push. I mean, region is coming up. Just like to shout out to Grady High School family, past and present, and, you know, and the future ones to come. And, you know, just like to shout out to my lovely daughter, Avery.
Avery, I love that name.
Thank you, Emily. Appreciate the love today. Thank you, Sky.
Let's shout out our director.
I just did.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't listening.
Shout out, dog.
I was just trying to get you a double one.
Yeah. What you thinking, man, about the day, dog?
I mean, you know, this is what we do, man. We the best for the reason. We the best.
Man.
Yes.
We'll see y'all tomorrow. 22 hours. Peace. You.
Guns out. Thank you, everybody at Periscope. Flex on. Look at them cannons. Look at them cannons. Peace.